use now to shut it down. What is wrong with you? I live in Waltham, Massachusetts, a place where the Charles River used to reflect the next fashion year's colors because people would dump the dye directly into the Charles River to get rid of the waste. And we don't do that anymore because it's really bad. We really don't think it's a good idea. But right now, we are still doing this. We are still deleting things and just doing stuff without any regard for what that is. I'm going to leave you with a joke. This colonist who is visiting Britain on a diplomatic mission is staying with a couple British guys. And he needs to go to the bathroom. And they're like, well, the outhouse is out back. So he goes out to the outhouse and sits down, and then like right on the door is a portrait of George Washington. He's like, And he comes back in again, and these guys are giggling, and they're like, hey, so how'd you like our outhouse? And he's like, oh, I loved your outhouse, and good decoration there, because I can't think of anything that would make a British guy shit faster than seeing the face of George Washington. That was one of Abraham Lincoln's favorite jokes. Okay? The fact that we know this was one of Abraham Lincoln's favorite jokes was because a lot of people who we don't know, who are anonymous, passed around information, wrote it down, shared it for 100 years, and kept it, and it allows us to once again enjoy and laugh as if we were in Abraham Lincoln's presence when he was a traveling lawyer and would tell ribald jokes. And that kind of connection is what we are doing now. When I put up a site called Please Be Patient, We Are Under Construction, what I did was I went through our 2 terabyte collection. By the way, when our GeoCities site, when we announced we'd gotten it all, turned out 2 other groups had been doing it too. So there were 3 copies of GeoCities. And we shared it all among each other, and we all have it. So there's geocities.ws and RioCities, and they all have all the data too. And we shared it all. So a lot of us had it. But I wanted to do something to demonstrate what we were losing. And what this is hundreds and hundreds of under construction pages. Some of them are rotating. It's meant to get rid of all the ones that are exactly the same, and it's interesting because you have ones that look the same, and you realize that people rejiggered the image so that it would take up less K, so they could get that K back on their 15 megabyte limited site. But some people were more than happy to keep going and get more and more complicated. And as we kind of go on, yeah, start getting up to the painted stuff, you start getting up to the slightly CGI. Oh yeah. Now we're getting up to like where there's trains and huge construction zones, jackhammers. I wrote a thing that looked for everything with the word construct.gif or construct in the name, and then just went through by hand with the resulting few hundred, deleted the obvious ones. Starts to go a little bit crazy. Hey, it's the Java guy, by the way, if anyone remembers the Java guy, Duke. I don't know what he's doing alone. Leave that man alone. Actually, there's one down here that every time people have seen this, because it's ended up on Dig a few times, because all it says is this page is under construction, right? And people get linked to it. Why is Ralphie eating paste? I don't know, but leave him in there. I couldn't bear to get rid of Ralphie. Oh yeah. And then we start getting up to the mega under constructions where things are just friggin' huge. Koala, Holly Hobby. Good to know Holly Hobby is gonna help your construction. I don't know, could you imagine a 640 by 480 screen that has that as their logo? You are partying, dude. And then, I forgot woman. There we are. Awesome. She got reused a few times. Okay, and then there's this guy. Now, all right, he's interesting, right? Because first of all, he's got the little Christian fish, but he also really likes you. And I went ahead and tracked down the website that it had been pulled from, and it was this very pleasant gay guy who talked about his lifestyle and his happiness, and that he was looking for just the right guy. And he said it was under construction, and he'd hand-constructed this kind of ribald, like he was really looking for a bear, really looking for a nice hairy dude to settle down with. And this was like just part of his thing. And I was so pleased, actually, because he had done almost all the work in 1999, but in 2003, no other edits. 2003, he shows up, writes it, and says, "This page no longer needed. I found just the guy for me," and then left. And that was it. He hadn't touched it in the ensuing 6 years. So it had a happy ending for that guy. But man, does that thing derail threads. And by the way, oh, look at this fucking the Great Wall of under construction. I don't know what that guy. And anyway, so I of course have done other things, and one of the ones that probably gets most people is an unlimited of Netscape now. And this is one of those things which, again, this is an example of me saving something which I think is important to people, right? I put up a torrent just about a month or two ago where I pulled out 54,000 GeoCities MIDI files and put it up. And people have been like, wow, it's like 30 days, it's like 60 days, someone calculated 60 days of MIDI. And I went ahead and I put up a list of the top 10, like number 2 was like, I've got friends in low places, but you know, it was like a list, and it was like all this stuff that was, and the reason I put this up was, this was me, this is bombastic asshole again, right? This is me saying, look at what you're losing, look at what you let these guys get rid of, look at what they turned around and thought was fine. This tells you the whole story of Netscape, when it was like you had to choose your browser, and how did you do it, and the Samizdat way that we would put together people doing it. And by the way, yes, once again, I mean, this is like, you know, bigger and bigger things. I mean, people would put up all these amazing, you know, the browser was only the beginning. You know, these. That one was just down at the bottom. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep that one in. Just because there's something so funny about it that someone was like, you know what? Download the Netscape handgun. Oh, and there's one, the anti-one, of course, showing Netscape blown up and everything else. So. But I didn't keep it on this because it actually crashes servers. But at the top of Please Be Patient, you'll see there's a link, and the link says, you know, basically this whole thing is under construction. Where is it? Wow, look at it go. Is that Pokemon? Did you? Yeah. Pikachu was under construction. That's nice. Anyway, it says, if you have any questions, please click here to mail me. And then it hits you with 10,000 mail icons. And it crashes phones, and it crashes browsers, and so don't do it. Anyway, so you know, I really hope that at the very least you'll keep that in your mind when you work at a place, that you say, like, the question is, where's the export function? We are long past the day when it was a shameful thing to have an export function because it was giving away the keys to the candy store. That's a bullshit, short-minded lawyer way of thinking. It's crap. If you're good, you have it. You export it, you're great. Awesome. Keep it with us or don't keep it with us. We're just going to be the best place to keep it. And the fact that whenever a place comes up now, there's a bunch of places now that come up, I will show up in their comments of their blog and be like, where's your export function? Seems like it's broken. Again, zealots are kind of a pain in the ass, but when you know, it's like if you are going to really play with people's data, allow them to keep their data. That should be a basic functionality. And there's a group within Google called the Data Liberation Front, if you ever heard of them. They're uneven like everything else in Google, but the concept is there. And what they are is they're a group that says, come to us and we'll be your advocate at getting your data out of Google. So if you find something on Google where you want some data to take with you, let us know and we'll try to work with those engineers and try to get it out again. And it's got this real socialist, you know, like, you know, hammer and sickle thing, which is probably not the wisest goddamn thing to do, but okay. But the idea is there, and I hope that other companies build that up where they're just like, it's a feature and not a shame. So anyway, and all right, so basically that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for sitting through it. If I don't know what time we're at. If we have any questions, like why the fuck did you like wear that shirt to a con?
Yeah.
Was there any questions or anything? Yes. I think it depends. Some places, what? Oh, sure. He's saying, it's great if I summarize it and I'm wrong, isn't it? But you're asking basically what my suggestions are for